The LDS Church teaches that God has a physical body and that we are essentially the same substance as God in a different phase of development. But what does the Bible teach about this? Contrary to being conceived by and physically born of God, the Bible teaches that we were created by Him. This means that we were of an entirely different substance as God. In a sense, you could say we were different species. But not only were we created in God's image. That means God has created us with the capacity to share some of His attributes. In a similar way, if I were to paint a self-portrait, the portrait would not be human, it would be the representation of a human. While I created it in my image, it would never be able to become human. Furthermore, my wife could point to the painting and say, "Hey, that's Adam." And that doesn't mean that she was confused into thinking I was actually standing there in that frame, but that she recognized the painting as an image of its creator. As creator, God is the only one of His kind. There never has been and never will be another creator God. Jesus specifically addressed this topic with the woman at the well. She assumed that God would only receive worship from a specific physical location, but Jesus corrected her misunderstanding by explaining, God is spirit, and those who worship Him must worship in spirit and truth. Jesus also teaches that a spirit does not have flesh and bones. God then does not have a material body like you and me. Our bodies are physically limiting to us. Because I only have 2 ears, I cannot hear every conversation in a single room full of people, let alone the whole world. Because I have only 2 eyes, I cannot see both in front of and behind me at the same time. My arms can only hold a certain amount of weight, and my brain can only hold a limited amount of information. I can only be at one place at any given time, but God, being creator and spirit, has none of those restraints, and because of this, He is able to be everywhere at once, hear every sound, see every sight, and know everything that can be known. As Jesus said, what is impossible with man is possible with God. You don't have to go to a temple or a church building to be closer to God, because God is spirit. Whether you are in church on Sunday morning, in your car on your way to work, or in prison in a distant land, He can be equally present with you and everyone else who is seeking Him at the same time. You don't have to wait in line to talk to God. He can hear every prayer from every person at any given moment without limitation. Unlike the rest of creation, God as creator stands above and outside of the natural constraints of time and space. He is not natural, He is supernatural. He is not ordinary, He is extraordinary. And He can do anything He wants to do. There is no one like God, and there never will be. He is the only creator that will ever exist and is limitless in power. And God does not have a body.